Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. Today I wanted to talk about a couple of guys in the news, Donald Trump and Joe Biden, as they are running for president. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party have done what they always do, which is give us no choice and make sure it's an old white guy. So, in considering Tecumseh's curse, this is a year that Tecumseh's curse could be enacted. I mean, looking at the chart of the inauguration, it looks iffy. That the age of these people is, I think, important. And so I think we need to check out who's going to be running for vice president, because I think that's going to be very important. So anyway, let's talk about these guys. I know quite a bit about them because of their moon phases. And let me put this up here to help us here. Okay. The moon phases. I am Donald Trump, and I are 14, and Joe Biden is a 13. And this is an interesting place because it's called purgatory. And that means the purging happens at a very personal level, as the person is to give up the past, is to give up old ideals, old yearnings, and explore the new, because this isn't followed this initiation here in which the old Will died. He was killed by fighting his raging pig. And the new person is coming out at 13, and 13 is an essential stop here. So Donald and I, 13 cannot be skipped, you have to do that. But Donald and I are here to gild the lily a bit, because it didn't get gilded in 13 much, evidently. 13 is quite capable of doing 14. The issue at 13 and 14 is one's vulnerability. Emotional and intellectual vulnerability have to be purged. Thing about Virgo is that it is a purge. If you have enough Virgo in your chart, it will keep you healthy, because it'll say this, not that. And that's what most important about 13 and 14 is their choices are really important. And so, of course, I include myself here, have trouble making up our minds. First of all, because there's a tremendous insecurity. I mean, it's like not clothed with any tradition or in a past. We've been sort of stripped bare, or supposed to be stripped bare. You're supposed to be walked through here buck naked into moon phase 15. All that is eliminated that you had covered yourself with before, that had been habitual. All is new, and it is built, and you are now being building yourself to this new and higher ideal that was discovered here in one's own depths at moon phase 12. So that's the problem with these two, is there's vulnerability to other people's emotions. 13 absolutely lives in a cauldron of emotional turmoil. And we'll show you when we look at Joe Biden's chart. And 14 lives in a whirlwind, a hurricane of ideas, because insecurity, basic insecurity, and fear, insecurity and fear. So that makes us, 13 and 14, vulnerable to other people's emotions and their ideas. And you see this in Joe Biden's chart, and in Donald's chart, and in my chart. Terrible vulnerability to other, and I still have to pull back from other people's emotionality. It's still an issue with me. I think that's why I had to do 14, is because I didn't do 13 good enough. But to sit with yourself, to be alone with yourself, and is what you have to do. Here's your mask over here, and this is, you know, the fool, he who sits and walks with God all the time because he doesn't know anything else to do. So that being able to sit and walk with yourself, find out how you feel about it, because that's what we've been doing in this whole quarter, is learning to use the power of your emotions. Because if you cleanse your emotions, if you can free your emotions of other people's garbage, if you can free yourself of guilt, that's a heavy emotion, then you can trust yourself. You can trust your mind. You can trust yourself. And you can trust your perceptions of the world. But you have to be emotionally pure and intellectually pure. That's hard. I attest to that. So these two here, so alike in that, their terrible vulnerability, their terrible insecurity. So here we have them, the two. This is Donald Trump. Let me give you that information. 14 June of 1946 at 10:53 a.m. in Jamaica, New York, USA. Okay, and Joe Biden, 20 November 1942, 8:30 a.m. in Scranton, PA. So, they're both, look at the shape of the chart. Look at the island that this is. And all of this power here is so dependent on that moon because of the south node there. That south node, you know, is kind of like, it's kind of like one's own buffalo wallow. You spend so much time there that everything else deteriorates and shit accumulates and stuff like that. Donald Trump is supposed to be very fortunate to have one's north node conjunct one's sun, and it is very fortunate for him. But the north node is virtually a demand that you work your best at this point, that you do your best here, and it's asking him to be himself. I'm not sure he knows who he is. Look at the Pluto there. The Pluto there would deepen his understanding of himself. That Pluto's in Leo. It's in the 12th house. And if he did his 12th house right, if he spent some time with himself, alone, in deep meditation, he would find himself. And he would disagree with an awful lot. There's a real genius available there. But he's not exactly capable of bringing it forward because of this fearful Mercury. Neptune. The Neptune's in Libra. Both of these guys have Neptune in Libra. Neptune in Libra is kind of, it's relationships, but it's kind of expedient relationships. Whatever works for me. And you see that in Donald all the time. But it's also true of Joe Biden. Expedient relationships. But that's a politician for you, no? So, and this Mercury, here we've got a Mercury square Neptune, and that's his chronic lying. But he lies because he actually doesn't know what he thinks. So maybe this works, no, maybe that works, no, maybe. He hasn't a clue. And that's too bad, because there's stuff there, new stuff, ideas. I mean, it's a Uranus and Gemini, Sun, Uranus conjunction in Gemini. His ability to say that is not good. Look, Mercury in square Neptune. And that's not only a liar, that's somebody who's confused, chronically confused. So, but would be it's George W. Bush also had that. His son was in that stellium was in the 12th, and he had the north node right there with his son Uranus. And I kept saying, dude, you would do the right thing if you did what your heart was wanted to do. It's not this guy. He would do the right thing if he only knew what his heart wanted to do, but he hasn't a clue. Okay, well, that's an issue with 14. If you can't be faithful to yourself, you can't be faithful to anything or anybody. Both of these guys have a moon as a focal point. And the Donald has the South Node conjunct that moon. And so, I mean, and it's in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius Gemini is communication and the meaning you get. So, anyway, we can understand how, and it's on the cusp of the house of children, too. And that makes it more important, and that makes his daughter very important. Understand that he loves his daughter because she's so beautiful. His son's not so beautiful, and therefore his sons don't measure up, because beauty is real important to moon phases 13 and 14. And I don't know that that's very important to know, but it explains a lot about the Donald. What did I want to talk? Oh, let's talk about Joe Biden. Okay, he's a Sag rising, and that makes him impulsive. And what he does is he tends to make promises he can't keep, because why? This South Node here, Neptune runs that house of communication, and he is a communicator. His son is led by Mercury. What you do is you imagine your sun rising up over the ascendant, at dawn. Who's ahead of it? That's very important. So that what's ahead of it, and so he's got Mercury ahead of it, and so he wants to communicate, and he is a communicator. What he's got here is Uranus. He's a disruptor. He wants to change, except he doesn't. He doesn't want to change things. He likes things the way they are. So, anyway, let's look at Joe Biden here. Look at this stellium. That's what that's called. 4 planets in Scorpio. He actually has 5 fixed planets. Where's the other one? There it is. Oh, wouldn't you know, it'd be Pluto. And actually he's got kind of a square. It's a kind of a wide square between the Mars and Pluto. So the guy is capable of what all of the people in that fourth quarter second quarter, the water quarter. I'll get it here in a minute. All of us are capable of terrible, terrible rage, terrible, terrible hatred. It's a curse. It's what we do when things go wrong. And so that Mars Pluto is what's going on is enraged him. Notice his Chiron is up here. His woundedness is in his belief system. It's in his belief system. And I don't know what his religion is, but or if that is really religion, and it could be simply faith in oneself. Notice it's in Leo, so the sun rules it. Faith in oneself. That could be the wounding. Here it's in the value. The value, it's right there. Chiron's between that Neptune and Jupiter in Libra. And so other people, he wants them to value him. He wants them to value him above all else. That is that Jupiter there and that Neptune. And so his self-image was really screwed with there. Neptune has an awful lot to do with how we imagine the world. And how he imagines himself. He is trying to structure himself as he imagines himself at its most powerful. And that's his issue, his power. It's not, I would call this guy out of phase. That's what Yeats would call it, out of phase. Can you live within your phase? Can you do with what you've got? Can you do your phase? And this guy with what he's got could do so much. And yet it turns to abuse, and instead of self-analysis, is abuse and recrimination and hatred. And that's pretty much out of phase for most people. Actually, for anybody, yeah, I would think. So, with Joe here, that moon also is problematical. It's right there in his house of children. That's the 5th house. Sorry, I didn't number them for you. Well, it's hard to write on because I tend to lay my arm down when I write. You can't do that with this because you're a racist. So anyway, his moon is actually the foot of a yod. Now remember, the yod is, he's got 150 degrees. Well, he's got actually 151, but it's close enough to the Venus there, and 150 degrees to the Neptune. And those 150 degrees are in conjuncts. And these two guys are in a sextile. So what happens is these two guys, the Neptune and the Venus, gang up on that moon and cause it to transform itself. It needs to become more useful. You know, well, that's what a moon phase 13 is about anyway. Owning your moon, getting in control of that moon. That is the issue. He's got Fortuna there. That would be so wonderful when he will be a healer when he gets a hold of that moon, because that's his objective, is to heal the world. The woundedness up there is caused him a tremendous amount of hopelessness. Notice he's got Saturn over there opposing his ascendant here, and so that you've got to accept. He pretty much accepts the world the way it is. That's that trine there that I haven't marked, and he has to do that. But it's got Saturn there, and Saturn says, "Oh, dear," because it's on his second house of beauty, for instance. This is the second house supposed to be ruled by Venus. His Venus is in its detriment or fall, one or the other. Exaltation, fall, rulership, detriment. Okay, it's in its detriment, and but it's really, really important. It makes him such a sweet guy. He's a needy, sweet guy. The moon in, that's that Venus in Scorpio. It tends to be, I need sex, I need attention, I need money, those things. And he's got Capricorn on that Venus house, and so he worries about money. The Saturn's there, and so because the Saturn's there, it depresses him. The thing is, he's got this South Node here, and that depresses him. That's Pisces in the 3rd house, the house of how you think. North Node's up there in, I can fix this. That's zero Virgo. And that's what that moon, one of the things that moon has got to transform. It's got to transform its pessimism. notice that it is square Pluto. And yep, that's the sign of a pessimist right there. I've got a moon conjunct Pluto, and I fight that pessimism all the time. And was very fortunate to marry a man who is an incredible optimist. And just having that in my environment has been very educational for me. So this terrible pessimist has got to transform that pessimism. That's that Venus Neptune is I have faith. I have faith that the beauty can be restored. I have faith that I can get what is most difficult. I have faith. And I think he looks at the job as too hard a job. Too hard a job. And Neptune, Neptune is right here. Neptune is right here. Oh, please let me stay home. No, you're guided. His sun is led by that Mercury, and that Mercury rules that midheaven, his career, and the Neptune is elevated. The elevated planet is real important. Notice this planet, Uranus, is elevated. And so he disrupts beautifully. He causes chaos wherever he goes. And this man has got a Neptune there. And so there's an obligation to bring balance. To bring balance. And he's got his north node up there, and that moon is in moon Pluto here. It's in, you might say, the degree, the degree of the nodes. When you get something in the degree of the nodes, that's important. Pay attention to that. That yod, focusing on that moon, he needs to become an independent thinker. He needs to become emotionally independent, emotionally powerful in his own right. Emotionally powerful. That's the potential of that moon square Pluto. If you work at it, it'll work. It will work. That'll be the right thing. You'll make the right choices. Choices are very important for both of these, both moon phases 13 and 14. Choices. These choices, he pays dearly, dearly for the wrong choices. And as you hear his history, you realize that those wrong choices he made previously, and they were politically expedient choices. They were politically expedient choices, the Neptune there. But they were not choices of choose the future. That's the ninth house. Ninth house. Look, here's what we've got in ninth house. The future. Choose the future. His Jupiter here is in Libra. Choose the future. His Mars is in Leo. Choose the future. Choose the future. It's Aries. It's ruled by this Mars. It's ruled by that choices. That's what the Gemini is all about. I have Gemini on the 6th house, so my choices suck. My choices suck because my conscious mind, my solar mind, tends to choose for really odd reasons. Choose because other people have said this is the best. Instead of listening to my subconscious mind, which says, I know what I want. I know what I want. I can feel it. Choices. Look at his choices. His choices are difficult. His choices are very hard. But I think that his choice of a partner has got to meet this criteria. Biden's choice of a vice president candidate is very important. It's got to meet the criteria of the Saturn-Uranus. And that Saturn-Uranus is really close to our natal, the U.S. natal Uranus. And not to mention the fact that is a 7 Leo right there. That Pluto his Pluto, is on the U.S. North Node. So he could play a karmic price. He could pay a karmic role here. And will, if he is elected president, will play a karmic role. Will play a karmic role. I was going to talk about, let's talk a little more about Biden. Okay, his Saturn is on the U.S. Uranus. That Uranus is, as I think, at 8 degrees. So that's close enough to be what you call a conjunction. Okay, it's actually a 2-degree conjunction. 2 degrees is kind of like an opposition. What you do is you look and see how far the aspects are from partile, and that means exact. And you can judge the fact that if it's right on, it's intense, because it's an Aries condition. If it's 2 degrees away, it's got the feeling of an opposition. If it's 3 degrees away, it's got the condition of a trine. 4 degrees is a square. 5 degrees is a quintile, and it's quite creative. 6 degrees is pretty easy. And 7 degrees, that's a septile. You work for the future there. You take part in something that affects the future, that guides the future. So, the cards for this guy here, his card and my card, are the High Priestess. And the High Priestess, if you know the Tarot, the High Priestess has to do with expressing your own vibration. Your own vibration. Not dancing to anyone else's tune. Your own vibration. That's those water thing. And it's ruled by the moon. The moon knows who you are. This card is the Empress. And it's interesting that he's got the North Node up there by Chiron. And the Empress, if you know the Kabbalah, the Empress is the path between Saturn and Uranus. Right up there at the base of the supernal triangle. And that is the path of Chiron. Chiron, the healer. Actually, Chiron, it is a wound. But as you address that wound, it's like you go into, it's a door into a path. And that path is a path to your own stable persona. Your own stable sun. Being who it is. So the Empress is really interesting for Joe Biden, because that North Node, in the degree of the sun, his moon Pluto, are it gives him a tremendous amount of potential, I think, to do good, as long as he can maintain his own emotional balance, and that has to do with that moon growing up and becoming, I wouldn't say impervious, because his creative genius is down here in the 4th house of experience of the self, and that experience of the self is sorrowful. It's got Pisces on the. He grew up out of sorrow, and he is a moon phase. He is a moon phase 13, and the thing about that whole rectangle. Let's look at it. The thing about that whole rectangle of 13, 17, 27, and 3 is that they must come to terms with death. Now that's expressed in Biden's chart by that moon square Pluto. And that is an exact aspect. No, it isn't. It's 7 degrees. So, as he can come to terms with this, it's actually, I think, 6 degrees. No, it would be in the 7th degree. He can change the future, this guy. He can be a force of transformation for the future. And that's what we all want to do, right, with our Plutos. Right now, it seems to me, we with Pluto and Leo, is you will either be a help or a hindrance. Pay attention to that. Things, they are a-changing. That's one of the things that a moon phase 13 has to deal with. These people deal with change, and death is the greatest change, birth and death. And so these people are also notorious for, this is where suicide tends to happen, is because these people will not accept what doesn't feel right. And if the world no longer feels right, they will bail. Now, I don't blame them, because I'm a 14 and I was suicidal I still don't fear death. I have work to do. And so my Neptune is elevated. Let's look at Joe Biden. His Neptune is elevated. We have work to do. My Neptune is in Virgo, so virtually have work to do. Neptune's is in Biden's chart is in Libra. He has relationships to balance. He has a world to help bring into balance by using his Virgo, by using his Scorpio mind. It's a 6 degree aspect between his Sun and his Mercury, and that gives it a sextile as feel. Ease of movement. Should you choose, people think sextiles are automatic. No, sextiles are not automatic. Trines are automatic. They just work so much you probably don't even notice them. Sextiles, you have to take advantage of them. You actually have to act on a sextile. Because they don't happen automatically. So what else do I have to tell you about Joe Biden? Talking about the Yod. Well, I think I pretty much covered it. Joe Biden, wait, that's one thing I want to tell you about a moon phase 12, 13, and 14, is they try very hard to live up to an ideal, which makes me wonder about Donald Trump's ideal. He might be actually trying to live up to an ideal. Well, the Neptune is 11 degrees from, they're both in Libra. The old people, old astrologers, would call that a conjunction, because they share the same zodiacal sign. So anyway, and Chiron being right in there. So his Neptune, because it's square Mercury, and that's all it's got working for it, relies on guilt, which doesn't seem to stop long enough to recognize that he has any guilt at all. Pluto would tell him that. It's in the 12th house of, if you have guilt, here's where it comes out: in dreams, and in a planet in there in the 12th house can be your great undoing. By exercising that planet, you can do yourself great harm. And so by exercising his brutality, Donald Trump, I think, does himself and will do himself great harm. So I think that it's hope that if Joe Biden can grow up his moon and become and start to own his own emotional reaction to the world, I think he can make a good president. We already know what kind of president Donald Trump makes. He isn't a good president. He's a good emperor. but not a good president. So, in spite of the fact that we've been given a couple of old white men to choose between, like I said, pay attention to who is vice president. And when the Democrats have chosen their vice president, I hope to do a video on the vice presidential choices, because I think it'll be important. So, hang in there, vote, and know that that the things are happening. There are blessings coming among them. In chaos is opportunity, as Donald Trump well knows. Anyway, God and Goddess be with you. Bye-bye.